Hey guys, there's this movie called Story, and it's a story about things that happen. More specifically, it's about a weirdo who goes on a quest to prove that humans shouldn't be gifted with powers of any kind. For some reason, I can't remember even hearing about this movie until you guys told me to go over it, so I took the time to watch it, and now here we are. The movie was okay. I mean, it wasn't trash or anything, but it wasn't something that needs to be seen on a repeated basis. But either way, let's go over it. So the story starts out with some guy showing the viewer that he has a camera, and he tries to keep his father out of his room because he can tell he's off one. Then he puts his supportive mother on camera, so now we know his family. He gets a ride from his cousin that we can already tell is a pseudo-intellectual, and decides to take his camera around everywhere, and as such, he gets treated like trash by everyone in the school he goes to. The cousin tells him that they should go to a kickback, even though the main character is a social outcast, and he also tells him to chill out on bringing the camera when they go, because he would look lame. Also, as they're driving home, they come across the neighborhood bums, who also seem to regularly bully the main character. Then at home, after the main character finishes setting up the camera, he gets slapped by his father, so we already know what kind of movie this is gonna be. When they get to the party, his cousin tells him to lay off his nutsack and go find his own adventure. After that, he comes across a grown woman, who I guess goes to the high school with them. The thing is, she also goes around filming everything, but because she's a female and a non-weirdo, nobody seems to be on her ass about it. Then she starts talking to the cousin, and he has a hard-on for her, so he tries to look hard in front of her. When that ends, the main character starts filming a public performance, and that sends one of the girl's bum-ass husbands off, I guess, because he holds the main character for videotaping his wife. After wallowing in his L, some relevant kid named Killmonger, side note, I couldn't recognize at all from Negro Leopard when I saw this, comes up to him, asking him to use the camera, but the main character is wasting time, but then he learns that Killmonger is with his cousin, so he decides to go with him to investigate what's going on. It turns out there's some black hole in the ground, I'm not talking about space. The guys put their ears to the ground, and they hear some stuff they're not supposed to, so Killmonger goes in the hole to investigate. Then the cousin follows, so the main character has to put himself at risk for niggas that are acting up. When they get inside the cave, Killmonger and the cousin are already doing too much, and trying to investigate, while the main character wants to pussy out, because it's hard for him to breathe. Eventually, the guys come across some glowing rock thing, and their world starts to glitch out, cause I guess the rock caused the Earth's code to crash or something. After escaping this, the three find out they have superpowers now, and throw a baseball at each other to experiment and detail their findings. Then they try to go back to the cave where they first discovered their powers, but the hole is sealed up now, and some guy tells them to get lost because the air is closed off. After this, Killmonger and the main character open up to each other about their families. It turns out the reason the main character's father is always in his feelings about one thing or the other is because he's an ex-firefighter who lost his job, so now he's living on welfare as an alcoholic bum. Also, Killmonger's parents are fighting because his mom couldn't keep her legs closed. When the main character is back home, he shows that he can now control the camera without touching it. Also, he has a scene with his mother, and then talks to his cousin about how they get along. Now that they have powers, the three guys start to hang out more and talk about their future life and stuff like that. Then they go to the store and start using their powers to terrorize people like the losers they are. Then they go to a restaurant and false claim a miracle. So at this point, I have to think of him as just an op. After they leave, they get followed by a Confederate, so the main character uses his powers to do him dirty and launches Whip off the road. But it turns out the other two actually have a moral compass, and the cousin gets on the main character's ass while Killmonger goes in to save the man. After this, the cousin establishes some ground rules for their powers, which are that they can't use them on people or tell anyone about them. After that, they go out to the cuts, and it turns out that Killmonger has now mastered the power of flight and is floating in the air. The cousin tries to do it too, but he ends up embarrassing himself, so that's an L. Then of course the main character manages to do it, so in the next scene, they've all mastered it and are having a gay old time in the sky. But it looks like in their altered state of mind, they've forgotten that they're operating in restricted airspace and they almost get hit by a plane. The cousin starts falling, while the main character manages to save him, Killmonger, and the camera, earning back his status in the group. Later on in school, they start talking about where they want to go sometime, and the main character talks about going to the east because they meditate there. Then the cousin has to fuck off somewhere else because he forgot it was his mother's birthday, which leaves Killmonger and the main character to chill out separately. So the cousin goes to visit that woman who videotapes stuff and continues to act like a pseudo-intellectual, so she's done with him, but then he manages to somewhat redeem himself, so I guess there's a chance. Meanwhile, the main character and Killmonger are chilling at the top of a building, and Killmonger keeps gassing up the main character, and he opens up about how life has been an L for him because nobody was really trying to put up with him. Then Killmonger suggests the main character goes on a talent show because it would be lit. In the next scene, the main character has a good time with his mother, but when he tries to leave, it turns out his father's wise to his tricks and knows that something is up, but not that his son has superpowers or anything. So the cousin comes across his wife at the talent show, and they both start videotaping the main character doing magic tricks, but unlike the scammers in the real world, he actually has supernatural abilities. So now everyone is feeling the main character, but the cousin tells him not to think too highly of himself. Then the main character, his cousin, and Killmonger go to some party where the main character is the clouded up man of the hour. So some girl gets on his tip, and he makes himself even more lit by winning in a game game with his powers, so he and the girl go upstairs to do what needs to be done. Then the cousin films a video congratulating him when the woman he has a stiff for comes by and he exposes himself. So Killmonger goes upstairs to record the history of the main character getting his dick wet for the first time, but he sees the girl he was with vacate the premises while the main character is just sitting there because he threw up all over himself like a fetus. Killmonger's just laughing and not really taking it seriously, which puts the main character in his feelings and he tells him to get lost. Then at the crib, while his mother is struggling, his father finds the camera with all his weirdo activities on it, so he confronts the main character about it, but it looks like he didn't see the part where they're moving stuff with their mind and flying, because he doesn't even bring it up. He starts getting on the main character's ass because he claims that he's just using his money to actually enjoy being alive. Then the main character starts talking slick to his father, so he tries to give him the hands, but now he has powers, so he isn't going out like that anymore, and he puts his father on the floor while telling him that he's inferior now. Then it cuts to a scene with the cousin in his wife's crib, so he's chilling. But back to the main character. He's up in the sky during a storm, and Killmonger comes up to offer support, because I guess their minds are linked together now too. But the main character tells Killmonger to hit the road, and when he refuses to do so, he gets put in a shirt through lightning. And of course they had to do the one Negro with a major role in the movie like this. The next scene, the whole school is paying respect to their fallen member, because he was like everyone's OG. Then the cousin confronts the main character, because the way they found the Killmonger pack wasn't adding up, and he knows the main character was behind something. But instead of just talking things through, the main character does the dash and takes the camera with him. Then he starts walking around in his feelings and paying respects to Killmonger, but it's a little too late for that now, isn't it? He caps off the day of degeneracy by visiting the site where he got the powers in the first place, and now there are weird marks on the ground around it, but who knows if that's actually relevant. The next day, the main character is doing his usual nonsense in school, but now he's lost all his clouds because of the L he took at the party, so things are looking dead again. After some kid tries him, the main character pulls out his teeth, and then shows them in the bathroom to his camera, confirming himself as a flight risk. I mean, the kid he did that to had it coming, because he was a tryhard, but still. Then the main character goes on a rant about how he doesn't feel any remorse doing regular people dirty, which honestly isn't a very good look, and he destroys a junk car to look cool in front of the audience. Later on in his crib, the main character gets pulled up on by his cousin because he found out what stunts he pulled back in school, and he tells him that if he breaks the rules of having powers, then there will be consequences. The main character doesn't think his cousin is about it, so he almost catch a fade, but then the main character uses his shield to block anything his cousin tries to do, so the cousin just pisses off. After that, the main character uses his powers to turn his mother to the side and go to pick up some medication for her. When he gets there, the guy behind the counter tells him the price, but the main character is a broke boy, so he can't afford it. But then he says some shit about the guy behind the counter, like he controls the prices or something, so the main character goes back home to change outfits and goes to finesse the bumps on the corner. He tells them to empty their pockets, and understandably, they don't take him seriously. Then he turns them all into packs and runs their pocket. Then the main character thinks he's in a hood movie and tries to finesse the corner store, and uses his powers to get the cashier out of the way and finesse the register. But when he tries to do the dash, the cashier pulls up with a stick, so he has to move it out of his hands, but since they're in a gas station, it causes an explosion. When the father shows up, you would think it's because he actually cares about his son, but not really. It's because his mom has moved on to the next dimension, and he blames him because he was out looking for him instead of helping her. Then when he gets on his ass, the main character holds him, causing an explosion, so the cousin can sense something is wrong and goes with his wife to see what the main character is doing. When they get there, he's flying out in public and tries to drop his father from the hospital building, but then the cousin flies in public too and saves him. So when he tries to escape with his wife, his car gets destroyed, and he has to throw hands with the main character, who now thinks he's Dr. Manhattan. Meanwhile, 12 has shown up and starts dumping shells, but the main character is so powerful now, it doesn't work on him, so the cousin has to murk him. Later on, it's shown that the cousin has still kept the camera and fulfilled the main character's dreams of going to the East, and claims that he wants to use his superpowers to do good in the world. Overall, this movie was cool. I mean, I like it, but it's not one of my favorites, because I don't really care about any of the characters like that. But it's kind of just depressing. Like, I know this movie isn't supposed to be a comedy anyway, but still. Let me know what else I should go over in the comments, and keep in mind that if you were putting some flight risks blunt, you would want to spread weapons across the world, like that guy from the Negro Leopard movie too.
Okay guys, make sure that when you subscribe you hit the notification button, because that lets you know whenever I make a new video, and as always, thanks for watching.